Down the stretch, the backbone of this team was run prevention, led by their starting rotation and bullpen. Go Cubs.
You are Locked On Cubs, your daily Chicago Cubs podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
You are Locked On Cubs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day, alongside Sam Olber. I'm Matt Cozy. Sam and I are lifelong fans, taking our passion into discussion with you on all things Cubs. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Download the FanDuel app today. To close out the show, we're going to reveal the inaugural Locked On Cubs awards voting. We're going to explain the process, the percentage of the votes, and the candidates that we're going to vote for. That's player and pitcher of the year. The Google form is ready to go. We'll explain more later in the show, but the link to that form is in this episode description. And before that, it's all about pitching. Cubs bullpen later, Cubs rotation right now, who finished 8th in baseball and rotation ERA. I didn't know this until today. I looked it up. 8th in ERA, Sam. 1st in WHIP. 1st in walks per 9.
Wow.
8th in hits per 9. Then it starts trending weirdly.
Like 19th in Ks per 9 or something like
23rd
that.
23rd in homers per 9. 19th is kind. 4th to last. 27th in Ks per 9.
That's a fascinating combination of statistics, because to me, if I'm thinking like that, right, you know what that screams out right there, right away to yours truly, Samuel J. Olber. A really, really good defense and some park factor stuff. Because if you're 1st in WHIP, which is walks and hits per innings pitched, and you are 4th to last in strikeouts, that means you better be keeping the ball in the park with some wind help, and you better have a fantastic defense behind you. And those two things were the case. And I think right there is a reason why Jed has to upgrade at the position, a position group, if you will, because I'm not sure that's sustainable unless Wrigley's going to play, like Candlestick Park for the rest of time.
Oh, that's a good reference.
Thank you.
Yeah, I know that we've talked about this before, and we're going to again. I think in a couple weeks we should address the hitter's nightmare and the pitcher's paradise that is Wrigley Field.
Yep.
But these numbers overall are really, really solid. Yeah, we identified this in the Dylan Cease episode. Yeah, they need to diversify the array of talent they have in the rotation, and it's time now to add someone who not only throws hard but strikes people out. But you have a group of 5 here,
yep,
who really stepped up. Justin Steele makes 4 starts, and really there's way more questions than answers, and there was some already with him even there. Matthew Boyd stepped up in a dramatic way. They never replaced Steele with a transaction. But Colin Ray basically did that internally. Cade Horton did that and then some internally. And then you got the 2 veterans, Jamison Tyone and Shota Imanaga, who may have pitched his final year with the Cubs. We'll see. But a stable group. Ben Brown made 15 starts. Javier Assad made 7, and that was it. It was only 7 guys. They've done that like 2-3 years in a row now, where only like 7 or 8 dudes make starts. It's a healthy group. It's a durable group. It was just Steele and the openers accounted for the rest of the start. So, they at times they really carried the team.
Boyd was tremendous almost all season long. I thought he's up there when you're voting for awards. Cade Horton took what was a massive question after the deadline and answered it himself with his right arm.
Insane run by him.
Imanaga was up and down, but people forget he did have a pretty good run there before the end of the year. JMO, same, up, down, but then once he came back towards the end of the year, absolutely rock solid. The Ben Brown experiment continues to not work. And I'm just going to leave that there. I don't think we have to get into details of it. It just seems like it's really hard for him to put in consistent good outings. Colin Ray was just, I mean, if I had $10 for every time I came on these airwaves in front of this microphone and this camera lens and said, what more can you say about Colin Ray? I'd have like 100 extra bucks.
He did it about 10 times.
Yeah, I did about 10 times. That
was easy math.
Yeah, easy math, which is good. It was a good group. It was a group that pitched to conditions. It was a group that I thought, outside of the first two games in Milwaukee, delivered when they needed to deliver. We'll never forget JMO's efforts in Game 3 against the Padres.
Yeah.
And I don't know if are we grading them each individually, or do you want to grade the whole position group? I feel like the latter is a bit overgeneralizing it.
Yeah, we could make that decision live on the air. I would be more for the latter, but I also think it get kind of fun doing it individual by individual with the 5 guys that made the most starts.
Yeah, or you could do it your way and I could do it mine.
I did want to point this out before we get to grades. In the second half, so from July 18th on, they were second in baseball in ERA, only 3.5 runs per game.
Unbelievable.
Crazy, right?
Literally unbelievable.
Cade Horton, I'll start with him then.
Okay.
Do you want to start with him?
Please.
Well, based on this stat line, a 1.03 ERA and 12 starts after the break, including 8 when he gave up no runs, I'd give him an A.
Yeah, and he's probably in the A+ range if he doesn't get hurt at the end of the year.
Let's do it. A+.
All right, let's give him an A+.
97%.
Yeah, let's give him an A+.
Okay.
I agree. I agree with that.
Matthew Boyd is an A- in my mind. How about you?
It feels cruel to put a minus on it, considering what he was expected to do. But it wasn't pretty towards the end of the campaign. I'm still going to give Matthew Boyd a solid A.
Okay. Colin Ray is very similar for me.
It's an A- for me.
I would say A-.
Yeah, because you got to remember, you got to put expectations into this. Mm-hmm. Like what were you expected to get out of him versus what you got out of him?
This is regular season grades, although it's up to us.
Well, yeah, I'm putting JMO start. That elevated him a whole grade to me.
Well, I'm going to give JMO a B+. What about you?
A B+.
And I'd give Shota Imanaga a flat C. He was a C pitcher this year. All right. And I mean, were you thinking to go lower?
I was going to give him a C+.
Okay.
But again, I'll go C+.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. So we differed a little bit the last 2 shows.
I mean, but we haven't, like, there hasn't been one player we've been more than a half of a grade.
No, it's not been major. No.
It's not like you're coming out giving a guy a D and I'm giving him a B. That would be something where we'd have to reevaluate this program.
Well, and I do every day. All right. Coming up next, we have.
As Ohtani probably hits another homer.
We're going to review the at what time of the day, by the way. Jeez.
I mean, he might hit 9 homers and strike out 25.
Sam, I think at this point, there's only one player that's ahead of him. Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
This guy is Jordan in baseball cleats.
Yeah, well, I would argue Lionel Messi, but that's for a different show.
Coming up next, the bullpen. Please stay tuned. Today's episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement of this sports season. Whether you're following the NFL, the NBA, or both, there's no better way to jump in on the action. If you haven't tried it yet, Prize Picks is the simplest way to play. Just pick more or less on at least 2 player stats, and if you get them right, you win. It takes less than 60 seconds to make your lineup, and you can play anywhere Prize Picks operates, including California, Texas, and Georgia. Plus, they have the new Stacks feature, which is a game changer. You can now pick more, for example, on Steph Curry's points, threes, and assists in the same lineup with the new Stacks feature. And download the Prize Picks app today. Use code LOCKEDONMLB to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONMLB for $50 in lineups after your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Shout out to the everydayers, and you can become a Locked On Cubs everydayer by joining us for every episode throughout the week. And especially if you are an everydayer, please make sure to vote in our awards, which we're going to reveal next segments. All right, Cubs bullpen this year, 11th in bullpen ERA. So a little bit above mid-pack there, first third or so. Again, the walks, the limiting the walks, big theme with this team. 4th in whip, and the bullpen was first in walks per 9 too.
Yep.
13th in hits per 9, 20th in homers, and then a few more strikeouts than the starters, 21st in Ks per 9. How about this stat, Sam? From May 1st to the end of the first half on July 13th, this group was first in ERA in baseball at 2.94, and I remember it that way too. They were dominant.
It's so refreshing to hear the walks per 9 stat, because that's what you do when you're playing at a park that doesn't give up a lot of hits and a lot of homers. If you don't walk people, you're going to have success. So that's a great job. I'll evaluate the bullpen in 2 ways. The first way is the fact that we talked all year about how important it was to get this right out of spring training so you didn't lose a bunch of games in April that you shouldn't. They got that wrong again.
First, what was it, 15 games were rough?
Hodge, Presley, Morgan, these type of guys were hurting you early in the year. Merriweather. Now, in fairness to Jed, in fairness to Craig, those were the guys that were pitching the best. It's just this bullpen thing seems to just be a roll of the dice. They got it fixed quickly. Palencia moving to closer was a big part of the middle of the season stability. Brad Keller was what I would describe, what you would describe, what we would all describe as a relief ace. He was just outstanding basically all year long. The acquisition of a guy like Caleb Thielbar went under the radar. He was really steady. Drew Pomerantz, really good. And then they took what was starting to look like a promising group heading into October, added to that with Andrew Kittredge, who got the 2 biggest outs of the season. Two biggest outs of the season against the Padres in Game 3 at Wrigley Field. And it was a good group, and you could see why. Hey, why did this team win 92 and the last 2 years they won 83? Well, they had longer spurts of really good offense, and their bullpen wasn't dreadful for like 2 straight months. It was dreadful for like a half of a month. And that right there, it changes a lot of games, Mateo.
Well, I want to start with Brad Keller, as you pointed out, relief ace, which we've used before. He had the one blow-up outing. It was either the second to last or the last game of the half at Yankee Stadium. They still won the game. But that was like pretty much his only rough outing.
He had one against the Cardinals at Wrigley.
Okay.
I think it was the day I did the watch along with Steele, actually.
Okay, but in the first half, right?
Yeah. And that was, it was like the 5th of July.
Okay. All right. So actually two times in this within a week of each other then.
That was it.
Wow. And his numbers prove it. A 2.07 ERA in 68 games. How do you get there? You're dominant for long stretches. And really, this foursome of Palencia, Keller, Thielbar, and Pomerantz, to me, Sam, one of the best relief groups the Cubs have had in years.
Wow.
I would
Yeah.
have to do more digging. But if you put up your top four relievers, which should, a good, if you have, first of all, they had five relievers who were good, not just four when you add in Kittredge, but 4 or 5 relievers who are good to me is a good number. Like that's half of the bullpen.
Mm-hmm.
I understand the validity. That's not the right word. The volatile nature of bullpens.
No, it's good. I'm going to teach that to my English class tomorrow. That difference.
And your analogy with field goal kickers.
Yeah.
But it does give me pause that only Palencia might be back of this group.
Yeah. I
would like to see at least one of them come back.
I don't think that's the case. I think they're going to bring somebody back. Thielbar or something like that. Does Thielbar or Pomerantz really want to go to another team and cash in their year, or will they take more of a team-friendly deal to stay another year? I don't know. Keller, I mean, if you think Keller's getting $8 million a year, then I wish him the best of luck.
Well, and see with those guys though, Thielbar and Pomerantz, I mean, they're pushing 40. I don't think Jed's going to call them, respectfully.
Oh, he'll call.
Really?
Yeah, especially with Pomerantz and Pomerantz is like 36. Him and Counsell have that relationship. He threw the ball well. One of those guys will be on the team. You could mark that down.
Well, yeah, he would get a huge pay bump. Don't get me wrong, Pomerantz. But hoping maybe it is with the Cubs. Yeah, Keller's going to be pricey. Teams like the Angels love to sign Brad Kellers after great years. Do the Mets pony up for someone like him, especially if Edwin Diaz leaves? And Kittredge ended up being a solid veteran pickup at the deadline. The only one of the 4 trades that had real impact, save for Willie Castro's assist in right field that one game in August. Good bullpen group this year. Some other notables here. First of all, Chris Flexen didn't allow a run in his first 21 1/3 innings. And I know some of it was against, maybe you would call it garbage time or cleanup time, but Flexen having a 0 ERA for that long was, it was notable, at least at the time. And like you already mentioned, Sam, struggle this year for Presley, Hodge, Merriweather. I don't think Brazier really ever did anything. Pearson, project that failed. Little didn't do anything. Roberts. So, it was some ebbs and flows, but really another solid year.
I would give the bullpen as a whole.
Okay.
Yeah, I acknowledge that.
Also, Aaron Savale in 13 innings in the final month.
Excellent.
No walks.
Savale, Flexen, great points by you. All the other names that you mentioned wasn't great. I'd like to throw in that Taylor Rogers didn't work out well.
Well, he didn't.
With all things considered,
Soroka.
Matt, I feel like I'm being overly generous. I gotta go A- 90 flat on this group. I think I think they did a really good job. I think it's an A- group. I think without them down the stretch, when this offense didn't get a base hit for about a month and a half, they really carried them and helped them win. Remember last year? They lost so many games where it was like 3-2 late they were winning, and we go like, well, the offense needed to add more. Well, they had a really similar stretch where the offense didn't add more, but they won mostly those games because the bullpen did their job. And most importantly, the bullpen held down their playoff wins.
Wow.
And that's, they won 4 playoff games, and all 4, the bullpen played a huge role. They didn't lose any games because of their bullpen. So I got to go A-. I think, and please remember this, because I always get on the bullpen. Remember this next year when we're like 6-7 and the bullpen's blown 8 of the first 13 or something, just remember, I gave this pen its flowers.
And not to mention 2023, the bullpen was like a horror movie.
Yeah.
Especially down the stretch. All right, I'm going to give for those reasons. I'm going to give the you listed. I would bump it up just a tad to a 93, which I believe is a flat A.
It was when I was in school.
Coming up next, we go to player and pitcher of the year. Reveal the candidates and what the voting process is going to be like. Stay tuned.
This episode is brought to you by FanDuel. The NBA is back, and so are the Bulls. Only the Bulls. And there's no better place to get into the action than FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Even if you missed the start of the game or want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who will score next to fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into a same game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. It keeps every game exciting, especially when your team's making that late push like the Bulls did last night against the Hawks team that I'm a big fan of in terms of their ability, talent. Bulls trailed a lot of that game. They made a late push in the fourth quarter. You could have taken them live, and they won that ball game. And they're 3-0 for the first time since I don't know, but I'll probably just guess like 2011. Right now, FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. So head to FanDuel.com to sign up and play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA.
Make sure you're subscribed to Locked On Cubs on your preferred audio platform or YouTube. That way you don't miss any of the great Cubs content we got for you. Yeah, I believe I heard today 3-0 start for the Bulls. 2021, I believe is what I heard. But don't quote me on that. All right. Locked On Cubs awards voting. We're going to accept responses through Tuesday of next week, Tuesday, November 4th. The link to the form is in the episode description, and we'll promote this at the top of shows really through Tuesday of next week then. There's going to be 3 votes for each of these categories. They're all going to be worth the same percentage. 1/3 Matt, 1/3 Sam, 1/3 you. And this is also a way to say thank you for being an everydayer of the show. And Sam, would you like to start with pitcher or player of the year?
Wait, I just want to clarify. So you say 1/3, 1/3. So each person, it's going to be combined 1/3. Got it.
To present to who wins the award.
To present the audience. So the audience as a whole is 1/3, and you and I are each 1/3. Let's start with pitcher since we're doing a pitcher show today.
All right. So there's 3 names for each of them.
Mm-hmm.
Pitcher of the year, you have these 3 options to vote. No particular order. First one, Matthew Boyd. Him of a 3.21 ERA, 1.09 whip, 154 strikeouts, 31 starts. He's the first candidate for pitcher of the year. Another candidate, Brad Keller, 2.07 ERA, 0.96 whip, 75 strikeouts in 68 games. And the third gentleman is Cade Horton, 2.67 ERA, 1.09 whip, 97 strikeouts in 23 ball games there.
Terrific.
That's going to be a tough one.
That's terrifically done.
Thank you. And player of the year, Nico Horner, 297 average, 29 dubs, 29 steals, 17 defensive runs saved. Pete Crow-Armstrong, 31 home runs, 37 doubles, 35 steals, 15 DRS. And Michael Busch, 34 homers, 25 doubles, 90 runs batted in, OPS of 866. For me, that's not going to be as tough as the pitchers, but Still 3 good candidates.
Well, I must be missing something. Are you supposed to write in Cubs late edition Billy Hamilton? Did he ever make the
He never played.
I thought he was going to pinch run late, see if they give him a spark.
No write-ins. We're learning from the Athletic.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I mean, do you want me to share my picks? I wait, right?
Yeah, no, you gotta wait.
Yeah. I already know them.
Okay.
The pitching one is very difficult.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a wrong answer really at all. But for the pitching one, I genuinely think that it's you could convince me it's a tie.
Yeah, thankfully we have 3 people voting, so it won't be. But
It's Boyd's totality of work versus Cade's unbelievable quality in a shorter amount of time versus Brad Keller coming out of nowhere and making this bullpen a tremendous asset to this team. I mean,
said.
Case is there. And on the offensive side, I mean, just since I'm making cases, it's the electricity of Pete versus just 2 absolute solid, consistent stalwarts, if you will, for this baseball team that help lead the way. So no wrong answers in this exercise.
All right. I'm really looking forward to seeing those votes flow in. You have until Tuesday of next week, but vote right now as we close up shop for today. Remember, 3 episodes in a row, both of us, and then a couple solos in a row. More hot stove, but internal hot stove. The Imanaga decision dilemma is next.
Oh, I can't wait.
And then our last player review series. Player who had, I mean, is roller coaster, is that too much of an exaggeration?
No.
But excited to hear about Matt Shaw later this week.
I'm excited to hear about you. I'm hoping to learn something from this Imanaga episode because I'm thoroughly confused at his contract situation.
Yeah, no, we'll definitely clean some of that up. This is Locked On Cubs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. For your second listen, find Locked On MLB Game Night, every game, every night until a World Series champion is crowned, which could be Wednesday night. Get local analysis on a national scale. Find MLB Game Night on Locked On MLB on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. He's Sam Olber. I'm Matt Cozy. This is Locked On Cubs.